Hi, this is Eric Metcalf, and you're watching the Unhappy Hour.
Broadcasting to you live from the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system, planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, California, Los Angeles to be specific. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Unhappy Hour. Tonight, the Cleveland Cavaliers were, dare I say, mercifully dispatched. Have you ever heard the stories of someone running over an animal on a dimly lit country road in the middle of nowhere? And this has not happened to me, thankfully, but I've heard this urban legend, at least, where a driver hits an animal and it's in clear, enormous, but they stop, they get out. It could be a dog, it could be a wolf, a coyote, it could be a deer, it could be a cat, it could be anything. And this animal is in pain, you know it's dead, and it's not dead enough yet. Was tonight's win putting us out of our misery? This season, maybe. This season, maybe it was putting us out of our misery. Now, I remember this. This is on my desk. Remember that? This season was supposed to be different for LeBron James. This season was, in year 15, perhaps his finest. But instead, we get to think about, is LeBron leaving us again? Such is the life of the Cleveland sports fan. The best regular season team of all time played the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2016 and lost in 7 games. They added MVP Kevin Durant to that team. It's a little tough. It's a little tough to look at that. You know, and for anyone out there that wants to hate on the Cavaliers and wants to hate on LeBron and wants to pick this thing apart, this year's exploits, this year's journey, this year's soap opera, this year's ups and downs of biblical epic proportions, this season in 2018 is not a failure for Cleveland. We went to 7 games against the Indiana Pacers. We met the current team in February at the trading deadline. Kyrie Irving forced his way out the door in the offseason. Isaiah Thomas never worked. And the number 8 pick isn't doing much to help us today. 7 games against the Pacers. And in a way, the Pacers were kind of the better team. It didn't work out that way. The Toronto Raptors were the best team in the East. The Toronto Raptors got swept. That's the best team in the East, you got swept. The Boston Celtics, even down Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving, were kind of the better team. And the Cavaliers took care of the Celtics. Game 1 was a game that we could have had, should have had. Game 2 was a game that was within our reach most of the game. Game 3 was a game we let slip away. Game 4, you ran over that animal one last time just to put it out of its misery. It hurt you to do it, but you realize it was hurting that animal even more to not do it. This year was not a failure for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But it might start to feel that way. And LeBron James might be on his way out the door. And what would that mean for Cleveland Cavaliers sports fans? Would it mean that we are going to not be fans? Will we follow him? Are we really going to tear this thing completely apart and rebuild? I don't have all the answers right now. But what I do have is I have a few comments from you guys. Let me just tear through them. So first question is, are you sipping on anything out there? This show was started in 2011 when LeBron James was on the Miami Heat. In one of our very first shows, Sean, my buddy who helped me put this thing together, we did a whole montage. I think I still have the audio file somewhere. And it was when the Dallas Mavericks beat the Miami Heat in year one when he had left us. And it was a baby crying. And it was us laughing and being so happy that they didn't win. And then year two, it kind of put us out of our misery. Remember that? LeBron finally got his first title, and I was rooting against him. And maybe you guys were rooting against him too. But when he got when he got that first title and got that monkey off of his back, I felt a weight come off of my shoulders because I realized I had been holding on to hatred to him for a while. Why couldn't you stay and win a title for Cleveland, you bum? Year three with LeBron in Miami, I felt pain, but I didn't. I rooted against him, sort of. I've known him. I grew up watching the kid. And I knew he was one of the best players ever to play the game anyway. He was already probably the greatest player in contemporary basketball at that point and had been for 5 years. He won back-to-back MVPs with the Cavaliers. He won them with Miami. And he's been screwed on so many others. Let's just be honest. This guy could have he should have the MVP this season. James Harden didn't get you to the finals, did he? Year four, when LeBron won his title for the Heat. I'm sorry, when he got bounced by the Spurs. And Zach Barris and myself, we were talking, and we knew that he was coming home. That was a pretty incredible feeling. People don't come home to Cleveland. That's not the typical story. People escape. And here I was as a Cleveland sports fan, rooting against LeBron James, actively rooting against LeBron James. Yet I, as a 25-year-old man, decided to leave Ohio to come to Los Angeles as well. There were quite a few things in common. Now, I didn't have $1 billion Nike deal yet. Your people can still call my people if you want to set me up with $1 billion Nike deal, by the way. Get a tattoo on my forehead. Just do it. But I left home, and when LeBron decided to come back home, it was a great moment, and I cried. And I brought my dad into that show, and we talked about it, and it meant so good that somebody was standing up for Cleveland. The lovable loser, the mistake by the lake, the constant fucking punchline to everybody's joke. It gets old as a sports fan. Mike Polk Jr. perhaps said it best. It is statistically more unlikely that you can be this consistently bad than it would be for you to accidentally, occasionally be good. The probability is staggering. When he's yelling at the Factory of Sadness. Referring, of course, to the Cleveland Browns. The probability is staggering. And so at that point, when LeBron decided to come back and we still hadn't won a championship, it kind of meant the world. That was kind of our Super Bowl. That was our NBA championship. That was our World Series. That was our Olympics. That was our moment. But you kind of knew. You kind of knew you were going to get a championship. And then year one, Kyrie gets injured. Kevin Love gets injured. And LeBron working with Dellavedova and Tristan Thompson and Timofey Mozgov. Remember that phantom travel in game one? We should have won that game one. We should have won that series. In 2015, we didn't. Golden State Warriors won it. Came back in 2016, year two with LeBron back in Cleveland. 73 wins in the regular season for the Golden State Warriors. The Cavaliers come back down 3-1. Warriors blew a 3-1 lead. Cavs came back and won it. And that was perhaps the greatest sports moment of my life. Can you feel me, Facebook? Give me a like or a love or something if you feel me on that. Sorry, I want to go Baptist preacher with y'all. That moment was great when LeBron, Cleveland, this is for you. The Ohio State championships were pretty fantastic. I'm not going to lie. Those were pretty fantastic, but there's something different about Cleveland breaking that curse. It was incredible. It gave me pride. Not that I'm a guy that has low self-esteem by any stretch of the imagination. Not that I'm a guy that has low standards or inferiority complexes by any stretch of the imagination. Not that I'm a guy who buys into Tim McCarver talking trash about Cleveland. Not that I'm a guy that needs some other grown-ass man to do something on a baseball diamond or a basketball court or a football field to validate my experience, but damn it, didn't it feel good for Cleveland to be on top for once, for the first time in your life. What was it, 52 years? Sorry, you got to refresh my memory on the math. Maybe it was 52 years? What was it, 1964 with the Cleveland Browns? 52-year curse? That felt incredible. And when in that offseason, when the Golden State Warriors went ahead and picked up Kevin Durant, this is an MVP from another team that just gave up and said, I took it to Game 7 against the Warriors. I can't even get out of Game 7, let alone past LeBron. I'm just going to go join these guys. Kevin Durant has every right to do what he did. And he's a bum and a snake for doing it. You know, how can a two-time NBA champion be a loser? You know, there's just something cheap about it. It's kind of like all the people that played for Cleveland St. Ignatius. We played them when I was a junior in the football state championship. There's just something about stacking the deck that doesn't feel competitive. There's something about stacking the deck that makes you feel as though their accomplishments are a little less. It's kind of like that, what was that kid, 23 years old, 25 years old, who was playing on a high school team? He claimed to be a refugee or something, but he was actually a 25-year-old former college basketball player or something. That story came out a couple weeks ago. Or Barry Bonds with the performance-enhancing drugs or Spygate, so that you stole all the other team's plays and, oh, surprise, you won because you had an unfair advantage. You know, that there's something about Kevin Durant going to the Warriors that just feels cheap. It just feels weak. Because there's no way Kevin Durant... Let me rephrase this. There's no way that Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson are going to win a championship. Even over LeBron and Kevin Love with who's our number 3 best player. I don't know who to say is our number 3. There's no way that Warriors team is beating the Cleveland Cavaliers. They need Durant. And they knew that they needed Durant. And so here we are, entering the summer of 2018. LeBron James can opt out and become a free agent. Where's the speculation? Speculation is some of the ones that are interesting to me. Los Angeles, because it's my backyard. What would I do as a fan? I've been through this with LeBron. Do I follow him to my backyard? Do I spurn him for spurning my my favorite team? Would LeBron feel some sort of sense of letting his community down if he does leave, and the economic impact of all the bars and the restaurants and everything downtown takes a massive hit? I think almost everybody I know would agree LeBron doesn't owe us a GD thing right now. LeBron doesn't owe us anything anymore for the rest of his life. And I think I also speak for 80% of the Cavs fans, if not way more, that we want him to come back and we want to retool and we want to trade this number 8 pick and get another superstar in and try to rebuild the big 3 and do something, work some magic with our salary cap. I don't know what it would take, but to try to bring him back, even if it's a 1-year deal. That's the problem with LeBron, though. He plays GM and then he burns out the team, and then you get players and they're good enough to get you the finals, but they're not good enough to take you over. So then he looks over at his team and goes, Well, if I just bounce to the Rockets, this will get a little easier. Well, if I just go to the Celtics or the Sixers or the Suns with Paul George and the number 1 overall pick, this will be a little easier. I like the Suns option, by the way, if we're talking him not staying in Cleveland. But it's very different this time around with LeBron James and free agency. We broke the curse. The Cleveland curse is dead. It's never coming back. It's done. Look at the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Indians are still competitive. LeBron doesn't owe us anything, but we'd love for him to retire in Cleveland. And I think everybody knows that. And I think we've really supported him. We've recognized the greatness. And, we've also pointed out a few things we're not fans of. I really don't like his divisive politics. I don't like how he gave the team the silent treatment at the end of the first regular session in Game 1. After the fourth quarter clock had expired heading into overtime. I didn't like how that was handled, and I didn't like him kind of getting upset with the coaches for not, because he asked if we had a timeout, and they said that we did, and then he seemed flabbergasted. It's like, bro, you can tell me, you could tell me what Sean Livingston shot at the free throw line. You can tell me how many shots J.R. Smith took and how many he made from within the three-point line. You can tell me what quarter they were in. This guy has a photographic memory. Don't pretend. Don't pretend that you don't know that we have a timeout, LeBron. Don't pretend that Kyrie Irving leaving Cleveland had something to do with the relationship that you had or didn't have with the kid. Because you kept calling him the kid. That boy's Uncle Drew. And no, I'm not going to see that movie. Screw that. He's not wearing my team's jersey anymore. I'm not following him as a fan to Boston. If he came to LA, maybe. But there's something about the interpersonal relationship with LeBron James and Kyrie Irving. Something broke down there. And maybe that was Dan Gilbert's inability to go ahead and keep David Griffin on board and tell Kyrie to pound sand. You're under contract for 2 years, son. We're going to make another run for a championship this year. And if at the end of that, LeBron James decides to opt out and he goes to the Philadelphia 76ers or the Houston Rockets or the Los Angeles Lakers or the Phoenix Suns or the Boston Celtics, then it's your team and you get to be the man, Kyrie. Why didn't Kobe Altman do that? That was my contention. That was my frustration. That was my hope. That was my bewilderment. We got back the number 8 pick, a bum in Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, Zizic, who doesn't even play, Jordan Clarkson's contract, Larry Nance, who is a good piece if you'd use him better, Rodney Hood, who you just buried on the depth chart. It might have made a difference had we used him earlier, but we didn't. And so now we have to figure out if there's a way to make this roster good enough to keep LeBron or if LeBron's on his way out the door. If he's on his way out the door, do we support him or do we bail on him? Anyway, I'm going to wave to you guys. Leave your comments here in the chat room. If you're watching on this camera, it's youtube.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. Click subscribe, click notifications. Leave some comments. We've done 7 years of shows. You can go back. We were calling it that LeBron was coming back to Cleveland. I think it was 95% certainty, 19 out of 20, something like that. We had the inside information. There's a lot of good shows to check out there. If you're watching on this camera, it's facebook.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. How are we doing this? This is actually the private Facebook group. It's called The Unhappy Hour Sports Show, a support group. Tell your friends. Indians, Browns, Buckeyes. It never stops. This is our soap opera. It never stops. Anyway, I'm going to go through all these. So my question to the group, what are you sipping on? I've been talking too much. I haven't even barely taken a sip here. A little soda water. A little, what is it, calamasi juice? Something like that. Big ice cube that was sent from a viewer. Thank you very much for sending some fan mail. Making those big ice cubes for my drinks now. So tell me what you're drinking, what you're sipping on. Hello, Brian McCarty. Oh, seriously? Thanks, Rob. What's my favorite color? My favorite color is blue. Brian's having... Oh, God, these comments are going so fast that I can't even read them. Guys, I'm sorry. If you said things before Brian talking about shitty yellow beer, please forgive me because I can't see him anymore. I don't know how Facebook does this. What's up, Rick Buckner? Gut feeling on LeBron's return. I think LeBron returns. I think I heard him in an interview say that I don't have it in me to do this again. Now, I know that he knows that public opinion is swayed. Public opinion has changed on LeBron leaving. I don't think he's going to be near the villain that he was viewed as being last time. But how do you get Chris Paul to join the Cavs? How do you get to trade for Kawhi? How do you get Paul George to come on over? Or has Magic Johnson set it up so Paul George is coming, LeBron James is coming? But does that make you better? Kuzma, I don't know if that makes you better. Ben Simmons isn't ready. Look, Kevin Love isn't a bum. Tristan Thompson is not a bum. They bring certain elements to the game. Are they Kevin Durant? No. Are they Steph Curry? No. But Joel Embiid is not either. Ben Simmons is not either. Jaylen Brown is not either. It takes a few years to get yourself figured out in the league. My gut feeling, Rick, is that LeBron returns. Robert is saying he comes back. Who comes back? Jesus? Quick, look busy. No, my gut feeling is LeBron James comes back too. Doug is saying, I just got home from work, so I missed the whole game. What did I miss? Nice, Douglas. Hey, let me like this comment, you turd. I'm just kidding. Thanks for being a part of the group. Seriously, I just want to say I love you guys so much, guys and girls, in the Unhappy Hour. It's so fun being a part of this journey with you. How do you go live and have to take a pee break? Ha ha ha. Wait, did I take a pee break? No, I didn't take a pee break yet. And by the way, the trick is you get a wide mouth Gatorade bottle. You can't see down here, can you? It's almost as if I have a... I could be doing the show if I needed to. Full disclosure, I have done that on multiple occasions. Sorry, guys, I can't read your comments. I don't know why it's not letting me scroll all the way back. Rick is saying Miller Lite. Robert is saying, is that Beefeater, you psychopath? Better yet. This is original London Dry Gin. Rear Admiral Joseph's. Take a look. Oh, how do I get the... Come on, zoom in. Oh, you're so close. Here, let me try it on this camera. Rear Admiral Joseph's. No, I've only had a beverage or two. We actually cooked out some hamburgers and stuff. Beefeater. It's similar to Beefeater. And yes, I am a psychopath. Thank you, Robert. Hello, Danielle. Hello, Jennifer. Danielle's saying that this has been a Miller Lite kind of night here. Gotcha. Do I think LBJ stays? Yes, I do. By the way, a caveat, I wouldn't be surprised if he left. And I don't really have a lot of wasted hatred left in me. I don't... look, for as great as LeBron is, he brings a lot of drama, and he's very melodramatic, and he's very passive-aggressive, and he was unable to keep Kyrie happy, but let's be honest, Kyrie believes in a flat earth, too. So, how much can you put on somebody for, sometimes relationships don't work because they're just never going to work. And the person that sticks around, it doesn't mean that they're wrong. It just means it didn't work. Through the good and the bad, brother. Yes, I don't like that comment, Brian. 34.5%. Oh, shooting percentage. How do you shoot 34.5? Bert, I don't know what to tell you, Bert. 34.5%. Are the Warriors that good, or did we choke? What do you guys think? Do you think the Warriors are that good, or did we... that game one. It's a coulda, woulda, shoulda, you know? We didn't win, so we didn't. Brian said, I just noticed LeBron was wearing a wristband that says, I promise. What does that mean, Brian? You just noticed LeBron is wearing a wristband that says, I promise. Wasn't I promise part of his promise to the Akron kids to give them college tuition or something like that? Which, by the way, for me, disliking his politics, I like what LeBron does for the community. For the Akron kids to come back, and I'm just a kid from Akron. You know, he doesn't need to win us over to win his legacy back. He can do whatever he wants. I just really hope he stays. Dan Gilbert will spend as much money as is humanly possible to make this good. And honestly, let's not forget, there's a possibility that Dan Gilbert made LeBron James a backdoor deal to sell him the team at 70% of the perceived value. That, you know, XYZ, 3 different appraisal agencies would come in and value the team, and he would get a 30% discount to purchase the team. He's got $1 billion from that Nike deal up front for a lifetime contract. He's doing movies. He's not done. This guy could play till he's 50. He could really play for another... He could play for another 10 years. He could play for another 15 years. The way that he plays, this guy would be a valuable veteran on any championship team. Now, you're not going to be making $40 million a year, but you're going to be a valuable veteran on any NBA championship team. He could get 10 championships by the time his career's over. Anyway, so Robert is saying if LeBron James stays, Love is gone. Why do you say that? Did Love choke it in this series? Or the last series, or this whole playoff run? I don't know that Love is the problem. Love is who Love is. And he's very underrated on the rebounds. He's very underrated with the box outs. He's underrated on the three-point line. He's underrated with the free throws. He's underrated under the rim, playing off the ball. Love is not a bad player. Nothing wrong with Love. Brian saying, I promise what... What? Brian is saying, I promise what to stay. I promise... Oh, I promise what? To stay, I promise, said LeBron's wristband. Really? Well, I would love that, because that would mean we'll be back here next year with a revamped lineup. Rick is saying, will you drive over to Steph's house and light a bag of crap on fire, ring the doorbell, and let Steph stomp it out? When he gets home, of course. Okay, I'm going to like this because it's funny, Rick Buckner. I think I don't know, but if his house is in Jokeland, we're talking 8 hours away, 6.5 hours if the traffic is pristine, 9 hours likely. No, I'm not going to run to Steph's house to light a bag of poop. He called the crap poop. Or he called the poop crap. I forget. It's been a minute since I've seen that. The block. Yes, the block. He's not leaving. I sure hope he's not. What's up, Andrea? Brian McCarty. Brian, what are you sipping on tonight? Your comments have been awesomely whacktastic. He's retiring for a year. I did hear people say that LeBron James was going to retire on the Cleveland Cavaliers if he won this championship this year. I digress. Rob says, no way, he won't repeat what MJ did. Nobody can. Nobody can. MJ did what MJ did. And I have strong questions about him retiring at the time that his father was taken from this world, and the gambling and all of the stories about that. I have questions about our boy Michael Jordan. Douglas Huff, here's my take. LeBron is 10% better than any other player, but their other 4 players are 10% better than ours. That leaves them 30% better than us. Thoughts? Okay, I'm going to like that comment. If there's a way for Darren Campo, he's our resident math guru, to read that statement, I would love to break down the mathematics of that, Doug. Douglas Huff, if you can tag Darren Campo, that would be fantastic. No, I totally get your point. Yes, LeBron is better. Is he head and shoulders better than Kevin Durant? He's better than Kevin Durant. A clicker 5. Steph, he's better, a clicker 5. Big drop-off after that. But yeah, I get what you're saying with the math. They said like Kevin Love was the 6th best player on the floor. So Cavs had 1, 6. Warriors had 2, 3, 4, 5. Do the math. That adds up. I agree with you, Doug. Brian saying, no hating. Golden State got the opportunity to sign a KD by drafting 3 future Hall of Famers without any top picks. As much as I hate them, that is how you build a dynasty. That is how you build a dynasty. Draymond Green is not a Hall of Famer. I don't know if Klay Thompson is either. Hi, Nicole. Warriors are a beverage napkin dynasty. Please describe what that means, Rob Showens. I used to work with Robert, if you will. Or was that Miss Jackson, if you're nasty? Wasn't that a Janet Jackson thing? Tell me what you're sipping on. Put it in there. This is called The Unhappy Hour. Don't forget. Instagram.com/TheUnhappyHour. I used to work with Robert in my my hometown. So many stories we could tell. Hey, any of you guys, Anthony Bourdain? Any of you guys want to say anything about Anthony Bourdain? Now that I'm talking about Robert and my food industry family. I was a busboy at 15. I was a line cook and a chicken cook at 16. I was a server at 17. I was a bartender at 21. Hospitality staffing, sales manager out in Los Angeles, Seattle, San Francisco for a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean like 6 years. Anthony Bourdain passing, that was a big one. But anyway, just letting you know, Robert and I go back from the food service industry, and he says Warriors are a beverage napkin dynasty. So I'm asking for some clarification here, but I'm going to like the comment either way. Douglas Huff, switch to the Tribe. Yes, I'll switch to the Tribe. And the Cleveland Browns, you see how jacked Josh Gordon is looking? Mm-hmm. He's going to end up playing defensive end next to Myles Garrett. Opposite Myles Garrett. That looks like a defensive end right there. Brian is saying, I noticed like no Cavs fan has left the building during the trophy ceremony. People finally started leaving. Yeah. I don't know what I would do if I was there. Rick is saying, go Browns. Go Browns. Green tea. Whoa! Douglas Huff. Gin on the rocks with green tea? Is it an extra potent green tea, or is it a regular distilled or dissipated cup of green tea? 8 to 12 ounces or what have you. What kind of gin? Gin on the rocks with green tea. Sounds good. Sounds good. Brian Marlin, I'm sipping Breckenridge Vanilla Porter. So good. So good. What's up, Renee? Bullet. Time to heal my heart, but I could not be more proud of this team to fight the fight with the team we had stacked up against us. Yes. Thank you. This season was not a failure. This was a successful season. This season was thrown into chaos when Kyrie said, I don't want to be here, man. It was thrown into chaos partially because Dan Gilbert didn't pay his GM to stick around and make that work. Maybe he couldn't have made it work. He never pays his GMs. Let's be honest, LeBron is his GM. It's just LeBron gets you Wally Zerbiak and Ben Wallace and all these high-priced contracts from mid-level players, and then you're way cash-strapped and you can't make any additions. You go, oh, look, we can get 3 superstars down to Miami. Peace. It's like, yeah, it's just kind of like, dude, we did this for you, and you're just going to leave us high and dry. So anyway. Fine Colorado Ales from Brian Marlin. I did. You had an $8 billion Nike deal, of course. We shouldn't have even been in the finals with the team we had. No, I'm not going to say that. Can I dislike a comment, Brian? I'm not going to agree with Brian saying we shouldn't have even been in the finals. In basketball, more so than almost any other sport. I mean, maybe with baseball because you can have a dominant pitcher, but even that dominant pitcher is going to give you 2 of the 4 World Series starts that you need. I mean, 3 if it's game 1, game 3 or 4, and game 7, maybe. Nobody can impact a game more in a team sport than in basketball. Because in football, you have 11 people on the field. In baseball, you got top to bottom, the batting order, it's 9 people. Basketball, it's only 5. So when one of those people is incredible, that's 20% of the entire team is absolutely superstar level. So, no, I'm not going to say that this team sucked. I'm not going to say we shouldn't have even been in the finals with this team. Of course we should have. We got the best player to ever lace up basketball sneakers. The best all-around game of all time. Doug saying we are until if he leaves, the beast of the East. The championship, the road to the... Hold on, how does it... The road in the East. Hold on. The Eastern Conference road. How would I say this? The road to the finals goes through the Cavaliers in the East as long as LeBron is on that team. Hands down. I agree with you completely. I would like that comment. Brian saying, think about that. Could have had back-to-back finals wins. Man, we could have had 3 out of the... Whatever. Because if we win in 2015, the Warriors never get that cocky swagger. 2016, we beat them anyway. Why would Kevin Durant sign there? I love going back and playing the history game. Zach Barris and I have done shows where we redraft entire NBA drafts. Where'd you take Giannis Antetokounmpo right now? Where would you take Kawhi Leonard? Where were they drafted? It's fun to go back and look at those things. So, anyhow, John Panico, KD, you know how to become an NBA champion? You join a 73-9 team. Exactly, John. It was a good season, Renee. Haha, John G, I heard that. Yes. What's up, John Toburin? LeBron did what he said he would. I can't blame him if he goes. Just want to see him knock off Golden State, even if he's not in Cleveland. Yeah, I could hear you with that. He doesn't owe us anything. I'm not going to actively hate the guy. I sure hope he stays. I sure hope he stays on Cleveland. Rick is saying, me too as a senior. Yes, talking about high school football. Yeah, but the point with St. Ignatius, I don't even think I wrapped up my point on Cleveland St. Ignatius. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm gonna have a dum dum pop or something. The point on St. Ignatius that I was making was that they had all the best players in Northeastern Ohio. They had the best players from Michigan, from Pennsylvania, from West Virginia, from Kentucky, from Indiana. They had people all over the place on their roster. It was like playing a damn college football team. So something felt off about the competitive balance of having to play a team like St. Ignatius. When my high school football team went to the state championship and had to play them. We were a great team. We came in second. And then my senior year, we came in, we beat Massillon, lost to Canton McKinley. McKinley won the championship the next year. I played defensive end on that team, and the guy that I played all game, 6'7", 285 pounds, big boy. And that fullback, man, he was a little cannon. Oh, why is it asking to go live with Brian Marlin? I don't know. Let's see if you go live. But it just didn't feel right. Try to have to beat that team. Felt like it was stacked. Just like how Golden State. It just feels weird. Brian saying I wouldn't have traded Kyrie. I would have let him sit. He would have only ruined his own career by sitting out. Of course, that's what I would have done too. The crowd was our number 3. Nice, Brian. Maybe. Boston? Boston makes a lot of sense. Phoenix makes a lot of sense. Oklahoma makes a little bit of sense. I know. LA with Paul George, maybe. Didn't the Cavs lose half of their net worth The last time LeBron left, pay him whatever it takes. They're not going to not pay him. But here's the deal. Steph is taking less money. Kevin Durant is taking less money. LeBron would have to understand that he would have to take less money. It's not because you're not the best player. It's because you've got to surround yourself with other great players. Everybody's taking a pay cut to be on the Warriors. LeBron has $1 billion Nike deal. Bro, it ain't about your, am I making $37 million per year or am I making 20? You're making your billions elsewhere. You're making your Hollywood money. Bro, don't get it twisted needing your max deal here. Nobody's disrespecting you by not paying you top dollar. Everybody on Golden State is being underpaid. Iguodala could still be a starter on a lot of teams. I've been saying that about him for 4 damn years now, even though he's damn near on crutches now. John Panico saying KD blew a 3-1 West Conference Finals. If you can't beat them, join them. No matter how great his career might end up, that will always be what everyone remembers. It was such a weak move. It was a weak move, but it worked. It was a weak move, but it worked. You know, it's easy to hate on people for whatever reason, but you know, it's a choose your own adventure book. We get to go whichever direction we want. What's right? What's wrong? Is there such a thing as right and wrong? I mean, we're all just guessing. And then Anthony Bourdain, he travels the world. He's making money hand over fist. He's eating at the best restaurants. He's got buddies and entertainment in the culinary world. He's a rock star all over the place. Allegedly hangs himself. Go figure. What's up, David T. Demalis? Rick Buckner saying, if you can't commit, they won't come. Good point, Rick Buckner, because that is part of the problem now, is because LeBron James hasn't committed. How are you going to get the players to sign up to play in Cleveland? Now, we know Cleveland's a pretty cool place. Cleveland's actually an awesome place. I've been back quite a few times for the Perfect Winless Season Parade. I will give you our documentary, I swear. I followed around parade organizer, Chris McNeil and his family. The working title of the documentary is called Football Equals Family. The story of the Cleveland Browns' 0-16 perfect season parody, parade, and protest. That's on its way. But I came back for the Cavaliers parade. I always said, when a Cleveland team finally wins it, I'm flying in for the parade, and I did that. I was also back for the RNC in 2016. So I've been pretty impressed with how Cleveland's put their city together. But yeah, other than us knowing how cool it is, if LeBron doesn't commit, why would they come? Brian saying the first game, I agree. He needs to be a leader, and he let his leadership bring down that entire team on that day. Every leader makes mistakes, and that one was on LBJ. I'm just saying he doesn't get a free pass. You know, if JR just grabs that rebound, knows the situation, and pops it back up and in, who's to say that doesn't leave him plenty of time to come down and kick an extra shot in, and they win it in regulation? You know, I don't know. But yeah, LeBron has to... He knew how many people were in the chat room. Greg doesn't see 20 people in here. Yeah, well, because your glaucoma is acting up. And as for your grandma, she shouldn't have gotten in the way. Brian saying, if you don't know how many timeouts are left, your head is not in the game. Well, LeBron didn't know. JR didn't know. Anyway, Robert saying, we have to retool a lot, yes. LBJ could have helped keep the team together and bring in more talent if he would have just signed a 4-year contract instead of his year-by-year contracts. Maybe. Or maybe he wanted to just make sure that he's always on a team that has a chance to compete the next year for a title. And I mean, we just did. Did the Raptors just get a heck of a lot better? What are the Sixers doing? They're just maturing another year? I mean, Boston, you can say they're getting Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving, but are they going to trade them away? You know, and accumulate assets so that they can continue to restock the cupboards and not pay the max deal? Because it's about finances, too. I don't know. I don't know that LeBron has a better chance to win a ring than he does right here. The Kyrie move sucks, man. John saying, don't get me wrong, I love LeBron James. Best player, he's the greatest of all time. The Town, total ripoff of the Land. Didn't even have 5 fans 5 years ago. I saw somewhere they were using the thing, the town, even earlier, but I don't know how true that was. It's bullet with a sphere cube. Yeah, I need another sphere cube. I've been nursing this beverage. Well, thanks, Brian. Brian was one that sent some fan mail. He sent some really awesome thick cubes, a sphere cube, in like really thick cubes for beverages. Because he was saying my, what'd you say? My whiskey looked like wine. All right, Breckenridge Vanilla Porter. I've been talking about this ice cube for a week now. Maybe I have. What's up, Manny? Manuel Jose Adrevet. Dan is garbage. Oh, Dan Gilbert? Gilbert spends money. He spends a lot of money. He'll spend more money to keep LeBron James in town. LeBron knows that. I don't see LeBron going anywhere. I'm not feeling super confident because he's going to get a lot of pitches. But, look, LeBron, this ain't his first rodeo. This isn't the first time he's been a free agent as the best player in the game. Every time he's been a free agent, he's been the best player in the game. It's not that ugly duckling high school girl that, finally puts her glasses up, wears contacts, ties her hair back, and you're like, whoa, what? It's not that fat kid from high school that goes off and, drops about 65 pounds and gets a killer job, runs a great company, and they look at the guy going, whoa. LeBron James has been the prom queen for a long time. He's used to getting the top of the top, over the top, all of the pitches, all of the best that every other team has to offer. They're making their pitches. They're constantly making their pitches. You don't think they know exactly what Magic Johnson's going to say to him and what he's going to try to do. Dan Gilbert spends money. That's all you can ask for out of an owner. They don't need to be best friends. And frankly, I think it's petty of LeBron to hate Dan Gilbert at this point. Enough. He was annoyed that you left, and he said, we're going to win a title before you, and he lost that. I agreed with Dan Gilbert when he said any self-appointed king would have had his court come to him and not have to run off to another team. And I thought it was garbage that LeBron played GM the way that he did, and then he blamed the team for not taking him where he wanted to go. It's like, dude, you put the team together. What do you want? All we got is an owner that's willing to spend. So I'm not going to bash the Cavaliers and say that they're a complete garbage team. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to bash Dan Gilbert and say that he's a piece of trash. I'll say maybe Gilbert screwed up by not keeping Griffin on as general manager, maybe. But Kyrie's injured. It's not like if we had Kyrie, he'd be playing. He might just be sitting on the bench. We'd be making excuses again. Oh, if Kyrie was healthy. Kyrie's never been healthy. And the way that he plays, the herky-jerky, he's Derrick Rose, he's Dwayne Wade. He's an incredible player, and he's very injury-prone. So maybe we get a superstar at the number 8 pick. Maybe we're able to package that for Kawhi Leonard, who obviously wants out of there. Who knows? Damian Lillard, yeah. I've heard some stuff about trying to get some Portland players in. Ty Lue is a bum. Question, Rick, what would you have done differently? Because Ty Lue did piece together this team to get us past the Pacers, the Raptors in a sweep, and the Celtics. He did something right, man. And I know, when you cut to pictures of Ty Lue, he's going, he doesn't seem to be super inspiring, but I don't know. Who do we get? Do we go get Dwayne Casey? Brian saying this needs to be a long show. We're sad tonight and waiting for Stephen A. Smith to get to his car. LOL. All right, I don't know how much longer of a show it's going to be, but I'm going to try to read all the comments I can get to. Brian saying, hashtag Steve Harvey. What about Steve Harvey? Stephen A. Smith, Steve Harvey. Okay. Love is our only bargaining chip. He's not the only thing of value on this team. Stop it. I think Larry Nance is a really good player. I think you got to design a game plan to, and Rodney Hood has skills, but he wasn't playing. What's up, Brian Schmidt? Brian saying, barring huge injury, I'd like to see him coach his son one day. I think he'd be a better coach than LA Lakers son coach matchup. I see LeBron playing with his kid. That's only another 5 years. I see LeBron playing for another 10 to 12 years. Nobody takes care of himself better. Nobody's been more durable. And LeBron can be valuable as a passer and a floor general. He doesn't need to be the man. He can still be a strong player on a team. Okay, asking about his wristband. Love Bourdain, what a loss. I know. Kitchen Confidential was incredible. I got to binge watch some No Reservations. Me and my dad had a lot of moments. He'd just call me up, we'd talk. Do you see the new No Reservations? Oh, it was great. Him and Zamir went to this. It was like an igloo, but then they got a massage, but then they got their backs stretched the opposite direction. And, I mean, like, he loved it. And so I had that moment bonding with my dad watching the Anthony Bourdain shows. And he's a great writer, great wordsmith. Incredible with words. The voiceover work, the little soliloquies and the introductions, the outros, how he wraps up his shows, how he does all the overlay in his shows, and the stuff and the nuances, the insight that Anthony Bourdain would bring to his shows was just incredible. If you're not a fan particularly, or if you've only seen a little bit, maybe go back and watch a couple episodes. It's incredible stuff. He's a poet. He's a writer. One of the greatest writers our generation has ever seen. Underrated as a writer. Hands down, underrated as a writer. And maybe that's a function. Maybe that's a function of being on television. And I've thought this too, because I've been working on a book called There's Only Next Year. The Life of a Cleveland Sports Fan, something like that with the subtitles. I've been working on this book for a long time, and I kind of write this book in pieces. I give post by post, I'm writing differently. You know, I'll write 200 one-sentence posts per day instead of giving, 10,000 words a day and knocking out the book. So I don't know if Bourdain's writing is fully recognized in the way that perhaps it should be, because a lot of what he came up with was put into audio. And I don't know if that's fair. I got to think about that one. Oh, there we go. Sorry. Robert Showens saying beverage napkin dynasty means that they're F as in flimsy. Thank you. My comments are delayed. Yes, my comments are delayed because I'm way behind. I'm sorry, Rick Buckner. I'm sorry, Brian Marlin. I'm trying to catch up. Giannis drafted how far after Anthony Bennett? Fine, I'll give you that. Good job, Brian. John saying reports coming out that LBJ had a severe right hand injury from punching the blackboard after Game 1. Are you kidding me? Post some of those reports in the Unhappy Hour group, please. A severe right hand injury. We could not hit our 3-pointers. I do know that. John, I would give you the face, but it just says I can only like the comment. Douglas Huff saying, remember when Ty Lue got stepped over by Allen Iverson? Yes. Yes, I remember. Pepperidge Farm remembers. We all remember. The whole freaking system remembers. You can't handle remembering. Do I have to keep talking to you guys? Thank you for making me act silly and make myself laugh at myself. Because in a way, it's cheered me up at least a little bit. This is called a support group. Damn it. Maybe Anthony Bourdain should have had a support group to call. And if you're feeling suicidal, there's help. There's 24-hour helplines. Just Google that shit. It's right there. I did a segment because I woke up. I got the news this morning that Bourdain died, and it messed me up all day. I took my buddy Izzy out to eat a few times, and then we barbecued today, like 3 different times. We went for fancy Taiwanese ice cream, and then we went for Pink's hot dogs, and then we barbecued out back. It was just like, look, today is Anthony Bourdain Day. It's about food, it's about memory, it's about family, it's about friends. But anyway, I woke up to that, and I did a a segment on that. And I've been in a pretty bad mood all day. And I don't mean bad mood, it's just sad. But this is a support group, and this is a lot of us trying to work out what we're going through as sports fans. And some of it's silly, but it's not silly. Sports matters. It matters for more than just wins and losses. It matters more than just merchandising. There is a community identity. There is something that seeps into a collective unconscious over 3 generations of people when you're consistently maligned by the East Coast and West Coast elites that just dub you one of the flyover states. Perpetual loserville. Sports does matter. Football equals family. Sports does matter. Sports can unite. So it's a big deal. It is a big deal. But, this is a support group. I woke up today to the Bourdain news, and if you're having issues and you're having thoughts about harming yourself, you should just look up 24-hour suicide prevention hotline. There's plenty of them. Call it. Call a friend. If you're ever having a bad day, a bad moment, just try to look at the clock and say, all right, it's 9:51. I'm going to make it till 10:51. Just say I'm going to go to sleep. I'll reevaluate tomorrow. Just try to make it another day. Try to make it another hour. A lot of times these emotions bubble up. They peak. They spike. And they'll come back down. They'll level out. They'll chill out. Anthony Bourdain, Robin Williams, Chris Cornell, Chester Bennington, all hanging? I don't even understand the logistics of hanging. Every time I see that someone's been hanged or hung themselves, I feel like it's foul play. Let's go, look, I understand if you aim and decide to shoot yourself. That's a quick thing. You make a decision, and it's done. But how do you hang, and how do you get yourself in a position where then you can't get out of it again? It's just logistically, when I see hanging, I just figure they were murdered. Specifically, I think about the fact that it's possible it could have been framed to look like a hanging as opposed to have actually been a hanging. It's at least possible. Four really incredible talents kill themselves by hanging. It's just... Anyway, look. This is the Unhappy Hour Sports Show, a support group. A lot of you guys asked me, specifically, I got a lot... More than a handful of you guys were telling me, you better go live. I didn't want to go live. That's the last thing I wanted to do tonight. But you helped me work my way through this. I hope in some way your comments help the other members of your group get through this. Maybe some of, the memes and the jokes that we tell and the shows that I do, it might be valuable to you too. But, we're in this together. We're a tribe. We're a group. We're family. If you're an Indians, Cavs, Browns, or Buckeye fan, we're at least related. Maybe you're not my favorite uncle, but we're related. And that goes for something. Because this is a world you come into it bloody, kicking and screaming, and that's exactly the way you go out. I don't know. I'm not trying to be morbid or anything. It's just, this is a support group. And I used to take this stuff a lot more to heart. And LeBron really did break that curse for me by lifting that barrier of the jokes and the laughs and the second-class citizen mentality of what it means to be a Cleveland sports fan. That's done. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. Cleveland, this is for you. Oh, LeBron James with the block. God. It's going to live forever. Just classic. What's up, Mark? Oh, how do I say your last name? Samarasingi. Mark, if you're still in here, tell me, can you spell it out phonetically for me? But welcome. Thank you for watching. Brian is saying LeBron is on the podium and said, you tried to trick me. Guy said, no, I didn't. He said, yes, you did. Smiled, and then said, I got a lot left in me, and I'm still wanting to chase championships. Hang on, let me read this. This is a long... LeBron is on the podium and said, you tried to trick me. The guy said, no, I didn't. He said, yes, you did. Smiled, and then said, I got a lot left in me, and I'm still wanting to chase championships. And was just asked about, would you ever want to own the Cavs? He said, being around the game is something that I want to do, and I'll be around for a long time, but I don't know what the future holds, but we'll see what happens. Thank you, LeBron. Thank you. LeBron, and that's how LeBron at the podium ended. Ugh. Ugh, that's not good. He's coming to Los Angeles, guys. You still on? Yeah, I'm still on. Side note, in 2014 on this date, Lonnie Chisenhall got 9 RBIs and 3 home runs versus Texas. Thank you, Bert. Douglas Huff said Lou and the assistant coaches should have called the timeout in Game 1. Series would have been a lot differently. It broke him mentally. Yeah. And LeBron's hand on the backboard? Timeout. Yeah, we got to find out what this backboard story. Watch 13 Reasons. 13 Reasons Why. It will blow your mind, at least the first season. What is 13 Reasons Why? Sorry, not sorry. We need to go live. Yes, we need you live, Brian Engelman. Yes, I know. Brian and Brian. Yeah, we got the Brian trifecta. Naftsker and Marlin and Engelman. What's up, Rick? Welcome back. What's up, Brian? Welcome back. All right, I think we're caught up. Should have accepted my go live request. I did. Brian, I did accept your request. Had a lot to say to get off my mind. I was just listening. I'm good now. Thanks for the show tonight. MVP, MVP, MVP. Does LeBron James deserve better? Deserve better than what? Being handed a top-notch, top 10 talent in Kyrie Irving and not being able to forge a decent enough relationship to want him to continue to win championships with you? You got to put some of that on LeBron. No, John Toburin, this is not me going all Hollywood Hogan and going, I'm not going to turn heel and turn on LeBron. I'm just... Valid criticism should be expected. And I think we got to be able to look at LeBron and try to figure out what happened with Kyrie Irving. Is Kyrie just nuts? You know, I kind of think he was trolling us with that whole flat earth thing. Part of me thinks he's in that special religious cult. I did a couple shows earlier this summer about it. I haven't followed the story, but does LeBron James deserve better? Deserve better than what? Going to the finals every year? I mean, yeah, he's a generational talent. He's the greatest all-around basketball player ever to lace up shoes. He deserves more than 3 championships. He deserves more than Jordan. He deserves more than Kobe. Deserves more than Russell. But look, he's going to play a long time. He could have all of these scoring records, assist records, rebounding records. He's doing it. Does he deserve more? He's doing it already. They got 2 MVPs on the same team. It's not an easy thing to do. I mean, are you going to take LeBron and throw him on the Rockets with him and Harden? Do you even re-sign Chris Paul? Trade opportunities. Love and a pick for Lillard. That doesn't make us better. We got to keep Love. We got to send the pick and a player. We have some decent pieces. Are they tradable assets and expiring contracts? Not per se. Need to clear up cap space for players who can produce. Yeah. Doug saying good point. I don't know what point that was in regards to, but I'm going to like that anyway. I'm going to assume it was something I said that was brilliant. Keep LeBron James, trade the team. Brian elaborating, deserve better than the criticism he gets from all the press. Here's a good one. You guys might like this or hate this or think it's okay. If you guys don't know who the comedian Mitch Hedberg, Hedberg, is, do yourselves a favor. Type him in, do a Apple T for a new tab, and type in YouTube and go to Mitch Hedberg, Mitchhedberg. One of the greatest comedians ever, and I'm so happy I got to meet him before he... I mean, I guess he didn't kill himself. He died from an overdose, I think. But so happy I got to meet him. He provided so much laughter, but he just had this joke. It was like, yeah, I used to be in a death metal band. People either loved us or hated us or thought we were okay. All right. All of his jokes are like these stream of consciousness things. But anyway, it just got me thinking about it because the criticism of LeBron James, some of it is warranted. Some of it is ridiculous. And some of it he brings on himself. So you either love it, you hate it, or it's okay. He totally deserves it. He doesn't deserve any of it, or he kind of deserves it. He's a lot like President Donald Trump. This is what I was starting to get at. I think in general, the leftist media has been attacking President Trump since day one, since Inauguration Day. And I think we've gone way past the point of it being absurd and ridiculous. And that's not to say that you couldn't make a point that Fox was doing the same thing to Barack Obama. That's a separate issue, and I'm not going to argue that point with you. But I think what we've seen out of Trump is pretty unprecedented, and I think a lot of the anti-Trump hatred is ridiculous. Now, is that to say that Donald Trump and LeBron James have not brought tons of warranted criticism in their direction because of how they comport themselves, how they handle situations, how they become passive-aggressive, how they get petty, they're both petty, they're both bitter, they're both vitriolic, they're both tools of the major parties, political parties. They really are. There's a lot of similarities between Trump and LeBron James. In a lot like that Mitch Hedberg joke, I would say there's a lot of stuff that LeBron does that deserves zero flack. Just like Trump, just like President Trump deserves zero flack for some of the things that he's getting flack for. On the flip side, I think there are absolutely things that President Trump does and that LeBron James does that needs to be called to task. They need to be taken to the woodshed. You need to break down every single sentence, every situation, by the phrase, by the sentence, by the paragraph, by the emotion, by what happens in that moment. And I don't think any president or any greatest of all-time basketball player is free from criticism, especially when it's warranted. Or like Mitch Hedberg said, or they thought we were okay. And then some of that stuff floats in between the extremes of unfair, fair, and then there's fair game. There's stuff in between where you could understand. Just like I said, I could understand LeBron going to another team. I don't want him to, but I could at least understand it. I could understand him staying. This owner spends whatever they ask him to spend. And he's probably going to buy the Cavaliers. That's just been my hunch from day one. Maybe it doesn't happen, but in my gut, that's how it's going to work out. Dan's going to make a killing and peace out. LeBron will be a 51% owner. Get investors for the rest of it. Little Bronny's going to play with them. So, Brian, that's a really good question. I'm glad you asked me, does LeBron deserve better than the criticism he gets from all the press? Because I think it's a nuanced answer. I think it's an answer that required 5 or 10 minutes of elaboration there. Because it's a mixed bag. Some of it's unfair. Some of it is fair. Some of it's in between. Brian Marlin saying it's a show about a girl who commits suicide. It's real and almost brought tears. Crazy how you'll be hooked, but season 2 sucked and went way off base. Okay. Remind me of that show. Shoot me a message on Messenger, please. What's up, Danielle? What's up, Nick? What's up, Chris? Doug saying, I believe LeBron is the greatest athlete of all time. Greatest athlete? More than Jim Thorpe. Greatest athlete? God, who is the greatest? I think basketball athletes are hockey. I think basketball athletes are by far the most athletic of the athletes. So Douglas Huff saying, I believe LeBron is the greatest athlete of all time. But Jordan is your GOAT. Imagine Gordon and LeBron. Okay, Gordon or LeBron on the Brown. Hold on. Keep up the good work. Good night. All right, thanks, Douglas. Appreciate you. Josh Gordon and LeBron on the Browns. I mean, he did that commercial where he laced up for the Cleveland Browns. I thought it was pretty great. By the way, thank you to my brother rocking this Springfield Isotopes t-shirt tonight. Appreciate you. How many drinks is too many drinks on a night like Tennessee? Brian, I think you're good, buddy. Judging by your grammar, how many drinks is too many drinks on a night like Tennessee? The actual answer is just, as long as your responsibilities are under control, you do you. It's Saturday tomorrow. You ain't got a job. You ain't got nowhere to be. You're going to have a drink today. Robert saying, if LeBron stays, we don't keep Love. Not that Love isn't a good player, but that he's our greatest bargaining chip other than LeBron James. I mean, he is, but I don't see how subtracting Love gets us closer to something. I get your point, but I don't see how that gets us closer. I'll like the comment because I get your I get your analysis. I understand what you're saying, Rob. I don't agree with it. I mean, what would it have to take to get somebody in to match a Kevin Love? How much better is Paul George than Kevin Love? I don't know that I say he is at all. Chris Paul at this stage of his career, I don't say that he is. Who else are we talking about? A free agent? Boogie Cousins? Kevin Durant that just said he's going to re-sign with the Warriors? Kawhi, who's trying to force a trade, he's good. He's theoretically better than Love, but is his baggage better than Love? You got to put this all into account. Brian is saying, Christopher Ford, you're late. Thanks for the invite a few years ago to the Unhappy Hour. I love it. Yes! Thank you, Christopher Ford. Hey, Chris, by the way, for everybody, I got to add Christopher Ford as an administrator. I haven't done it yet. I'm sorry. So, forgive my delay. But I did talk to Christopher about it. He's going to become an administrator here. But Brian Marlin is saying, Christopher Ford, you're late. Thanks for the invite a few years ago to the Unhappy Hour. I love it. Dude, Indians, Cavs, Browns, and Buckeyes. It's just a place for us to meet and talk sports. I love this group so much more than you guys even know. I don't consume ESPN and stuff like that like I used to. I go to the Unhappy Hour. You guys drive this page. I love it so much. Chris saying, good stuff Brian's doing here. Well, like I said, thank you, but this is the good stuff you guys are doing here. Hi, Chris. Brian Marlin saying, he'll come back home one day, LeBron. He could come back when he's 52. Once I was 52 years old, and Bronny had retired, and Bronny's kid was playing for the Cavaliers. Once I was 80 years old. Do. Bo Jackson. On hockey, hands down. Okay, so you're saying hockey has the greatest athletes, and Gretzky's a better athlete than LeBron? I would take LeBron as a better athlete than Wayne Gretzky. I'll say that Wayne can skate better. I'm saying Gretzky ain't going to be able to do what LeBron James can do. Get out of here. Olympians. What Olympians? You mean like Zeus? You're talking about Mount Olympus Olympians? 10. What's that? Douglas Huff. 10 what? The Pearl Jam album? Yes, it was a great album. Garden. Underrated song on Pearl Jam 10. Tonight, Jesus. Alright, misspelled. 10, got it. Missy, what's up, Missy? Douglas saying, who knows what LeBron's 40-yard dash time was when he was young? 4.3 is what I'm told. Has he ever run a 40? Thanks for the extra long show tonight. Usually you're so upset that you party poop after 10 to 20 minutes. Yeah, I do, Brian. I do, because I'm salty, because I'm a fan. Because I give a shit about this. I don't know why I give a shit about this, but I do give a shit about this. I like sports. Sports provided me a lot of stuff that I needed when I was in high school. And in middle school and in elementary school. Sports is important. And I love it. It's fun. No, I don't. This is not the show I want to be doing right now, but it's the last game of the season. We got to talk. Aw, we love you too, Brian Napsker. Right on, brother. Thanks, Chris. Dan and Dave. Oh, better athletes, Bo Jackson. That's where that came from. All right. Sorry, I got you now. Sorry, Brian. Okay, Bo Jackson is an athlete, yeah. My eyes are starting to squint. No, it's just the effect of having the windows closed and having the fan on, not getting enough air. And it is late. But remember this journey. Remember when the Cavs had perhaps the best... Remember what you were being told at the beginning of the year. And we'll end on this. Remember what you were being told at the beginning of the year. This was LeBron's deepest, best team, the best assembled team that he's ever been on. Dwayne Wade. Derrick Rose. Kevin Love. Isaiah Thomas. That's not to mention J.R. Smith and Kyle Korver and Tristan Thompson. Go down the line. We went on a nice little streak there and won a whole bunch of games. And then the team fell apart. We got rid of half the team. Paid a little bit of a premium to get rid of Isaiah Thomas. But it was kind of addition by subtraction, and we got it together and we beat a tough Pacers team, a tough Raptors team, and a tough Celtics team. Maybe not Rockets tough, but they were tough teams. Maybe they seem tough because we're lacking Kyrie Irving and we're not as strong as we used to be. This season was an accomplishment. And once again, how? This is Buffalo Bills territory. Boy, I love losing Super Bowls. That's what BILLS stands for. LeBron runs into a team just a little bit better. A few notches better. Maybe it's the only team in the NBA that LeBron and the Cavaliers can't beat. We've lost 3 out of the last 4. Is this the end of Zombie Shakespeare? Is this the end of the Cleveland Cavaliers LeBron James partnership? I don't think so. No, I don't. I'm also not super confident, and I wouldn't be surprised. Better watch your mouth, Greg. Still not 20 people in here. Actually, scroll through. Go back through the comments. We've had quite a few popping in and popping out for extended amounts of time. The number goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. So, yeah, we've definitely had way more than 20. Robert saying, this season showed how great LeBron is, what adversity he can overcome. He's not without his faults. He's not without his criticism, his fair criticism. But has anybody played as incredibly as LeBron has played in the past 4 NBA Finals? I don't know that I've ever seen anybody dominate. And it's unfortunate because a lot of these are just going to go down the rabbit hole of history. What LeBron's done in these past 4 NBA Finals series has been nothing short of incredible. Brian is saying, I think we had 10 at the peak of the show. No, we had 11. Needs to practice his free throws. Yeah, sure, I know. And Greg Maddux needed to develop a knuckleball too. Yes, he couldn't throw a knuckleball, but he could do everything else. I know you're kidding, Gregor. If you weren't kidding, it wouldn't be fun. I miss Uncle Drew too. Damian Lillard, Kawhi, and LeBron, that's the team of the future. Look into the hand. They just mentioned it on local TV, Channel 5 News to be exact. So what did he do? He punched a blackboard, and then he had a severe right hand injury. So have we been able to go back and break down the... Because you remember he missed a couple of open layups in game 3? Game 2 or 3? 3? Or was it 2? Sorry, they start to blur together, but remember it was in LeBron James misses another wide open layup. And you're like, what the hell is going on here? Maybe he did hurt himself. Wouldn't that be something? What would that do to the LeBron James legacy? If LeBron went ahead and injured himself after playing in all 82 straight games. That's like a kicker tearing his ACL celebrating a field goal make. Okay, I'm not going to judge this until I dig into it, but this would be an opportunity to give fair criticism and critique to LeBron James if that's what's going on. Well, excuse me. I know. Just kidding with you, Brian. Greg saying, why tarnish his legacy by chasing rings Durant style? Nobody would fault him for staying in Cleveland. And nobody would fault him for leaving. A tiny percentage of people might. But in general, I think he's got carte blanche to do whatever the heck he feels like doing. Aren't the late-night comedy shows previously recorded? How do they know the Warriors won? They're in your state, Engelman. Kelly. Well, they probably do. I've been to these things. I've seen Kimmel. I've seen concerts outside of Kimmel. I've seen 30 Seconds to Mars out there. Who else did I see at Kimmel? I'm drawing a blank, but I've seen Blue October on Letterman. No, on The Tonight Show. What else have I seen? I was on a game show with Carlton from Fresh Prince. Catch 21 on the Game Show Network. I had a good day. I won. True story. So happy I won. I would never want to tell that story to anyone if I lost. Yeah, I was on a game show. Yeah, I lost. It sucked. No, it was cool. I won. Yeah, but anyway, I was just saying that the late night comedy shows, they probably pre-record 2 different versions. So they'll probably do their monologue and say, all right, at this point, since we're pre-recording at 1 p.m., we're going to record a version as if the Cavaliers extend the series to 5 games. Then we'll make a couple jokes if the Cavs get swept. So anyway. Does Kimmel go live sometimes? Whoa, what? Hold on, they confirmed he broke his hand? Hold on, who is confirming all this stuff? You guys are like breaking news? Hang on, let me pull this up here. Durant wins his 2nd Finals MVP. No White House champ invite saddens me. Shut up, NBA commish. It's your coaches and players that are disrespecting the President of the United States. Don't turn this into, oh, you're so saddened. Stop it. Oh my God. LeBron, I played with a self-inflicted hand injury. LeBron James says he pretty much played the last 3 games with a broken hand. LeBron James says emotions got the best of him after the tough Game 1 loss and his frustrations caused him to injure his hand. Holy shit, you guys. Cleveland Cavaliers star LeBron James played the last 3 games of the NBA Finals with a significant and self-inflicted right hand injury following the team's Game 1 overtime loss in Oakland. Sources told ESPN that the injury was a result of him punching a blackboard in the locker room after that game. I let the emotions get the best of me and pretty much played the last 3 games with a broken hand, James said following Friday's Game 4 loss to the Golden State Warriors. James had 2 MRIs during the series and wore a soft cast when he wasn't practicing or playing or in view of the media, sources said, so as to not give the Warriors a competitive advantage. He appeared with the cast during his press conference after Friday's game. Holy shit! James scored 51 points in the game, going 7 of 16 from the field on shots from 10 feet and out in Game 1. He struggled shooting from such distances in the remaining 3 games, going a collective 5 of 19. His average shot distance, meanwhile, went from 12.6 feet in Game 1 to 10 feet in Game 2, 9 feet in Game 3, then 4.7 feet in Game 4, per ESPN Stats and Information. Holy crap! Cleveland still has the heavyweight MMA champ. Yes, Carlton. Yeah, when they're recording stuff, I was there at peak week in spring break down in Cancun with MTV as well. That live performance you see, they make the band play like 5 different versions of the song to get all the camera angles, and they splice them together. So it's all bullshit. It's not what you think it is. It's all just Hollywood mumbo jumbo. And it all comes back to the timeout nobody called, including LeBron with his healthy top tee of the hand and said he wanted to break it. Couldn't move his hand. Breaking news. You once punched a bowling locker. Big mistake. James described that Game 1 loss as very emotional for him. For a lot of different reasons, he continued, understanding how important a game is on the road for our ball club, what winning it would have done for us, the way we played, the calls that were made throughout the course of that game, and I had emotions that game was taken away from us. I had emotions that you just don't get an opportunity like this on the road against Golden State to be able to get a Game 1. Wow! Wow. Oh. Triple-doubled with a broken hand. That wins my heart. Well, did he actually break it, or is it just sprain? I mean, did he break it? He said pretty much a broken hand. Does that just mean really injured? All right, well, look, that's as good a place as any as I could think of to pause for tonight. I've gone an hour and a half with you guys, and I've had a contemplative day. Waking up to Anthony Bourdain leaving us, and then, maybe LeBron James just left us. Maybe that's the last time he's going to play in a Cavaliers uniform. Maybe it's the end of an era. Maybe we're just getting started. I don't know. But for tonight, we're all in the same room. We're all here talking about it. If you're on this camera, it's youtube.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. Click subscribe. Click for notifications. Leave your comments. Let the advertisements play. It's like tossing a couple pennies in our wishing well. If you like what we're doing and want to contribute per video that we upload or per month or however you feel like it, patreon.com/TheNewAmericanMedia. Always appreciate that. If you're on this camera, thank you so much. This is Facebook private group, The Unhappy Hour Sports Show, a support group. Invite your friends. It's Indians time. It's Buckeyes time. It's Cleveland Browns time. We're never done, but we are done for the Cleveland Cavaliers this year in 2018. Successfully made it to the NBA championship. And wow, how Game 1 and that blown call triggered the punch that triggered... I'm going to have to digest some of this. I'm just getting breaking news, breaking information here. I'm going to have to think this one through here. But wow. Did he really have a broken hand for games 2, 3, and 4? There's a lesson in there. Because LeBron didn't rally his troops during that timeout, or during that intermission. So, while we're considering GOAT status, it's the knock on LeBron. Maybe I'll be a little harsher on him if he plays for the Lakers or the Sixers next year. But I think he stays in Cleveland. I think we revamp the roster. And I think we win it. What else am I supposed to think at this point? NBA refs 1, Warriors 3, Cavs 0. Yeah, kind of. Messed up, a broken hand, yep. Brian saying thanks, bro. Yep. Big gulp. Welp. See you all later. Thanks, BE. Well, thank you guys. Look, the Indians are in first place. We haven't necessarily been overachievers, but we're still in first place. And all it takes is to punch your ticket. We got a pitching staff that can get it done. Maybe we can be buyers in the bullpen halfway through the season. Buckeyes are always a legit title championship threat. Thank God for that. And the Cleveland Browns have totally revamped their roster. I say we go 10-6, we make the playoffs. I think we're winning the Super Bowl this year. Book it. Greg Moore saying the GOAT can't jump from team to team. Yeah, but have you seen goats jumping around on cliff faces in Nepal? In Greenland? Have you ever seen that? If those goats can jump, why can't this goat jump? No, I agree. No tape or nothing on hand, but I promise a bracelet. And I promise bracelet. Okay. The Browns are in first place right now. All right, guys, thank you so much. Go Cavs. This was a successful season. We ran into a juggernaut of a badass team with 2 MVPs on it, and it's disappointing, but it was also a successful season. I don't know how it can be both, but I think we figured out how to make it both. So I'll talk with you guys again soon. Thank you so much. Go Cavs.